We should be live now.
All right.
What happened?
What do you mean? What happened?
The your voice is cutting. I can hear myself. Wait, oh, I have the stream on.
Yeah, you want to mute that.
Yeah, well, I just stopped it. I will look at your Discord thing
Yeah, all right.
stream. I forgot we are live.
There, I posted it in tournaments. I think we're good to go. And I think the chat is working. So I can start whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I just need to fix both the chat and your stream so that I have both. It should work now. Hello?
Hello.
Oh, are you turning off or on your microphone or something like that?
I can try and unplug it. I think it's working fine through
No,
my
I
mic.
mean it sounds sometimes like the internet is cutting.
Well, it shouldn't be a problem in the recording because OBS isn't
Yeah,
picking up what you're hearing, it's picking up what my computer's hearing through my mic.
that's true.
You want me to mix up the pool any? Be any different from the last 5 times you tried doing this?
Well, you can do it however you want.
Alright. You said we had some Russian submissions, that's interesting.
MGVs and Sergey and Non-Produce are Russians.
Cool. I knew Non4Dev was, but I didn't know they had a community. Very cool. There. Thoroughly mixed. Alright. Ready when you are. The chat's still being weird. It's not centered for God knows what reason. So I will turn it off.
Yeah, I am ready now.
Alright. I'll get it
Are
started
you?
for you. You pause and show off the fleets first. I don't know how you do it.
I did actually comment and showcase the fleets before I started.
Just let it rip.
It it can actually be better to showcase like this. I might do it in the future.
Alright. Well, we have
So,
Dill.
do you want to take
I don't
the
know
right side or
anything
the
about
left or both, or should
I
I?
don't know anything about the mod, so.
Oh, um, yeah. Zoom in on one ship, and I will say something. So, this is Play Zero Ranger by Dill. This is the main ship, Grapefruit, which has a shield and some explosives disarmers. So it's a ship made against missiles. The next one is a cannon ship, which has three kinetic cannons, which can deal a lot of damage, but they are very slow. The last one is the Rib, which uses one belt-fed minigun.
Looks like these are.
Yeah, these are spinal mounts, speed by MV, I think. The things are in the way. Yeah. Yeah, which is spinal mounts. All of these designs are just equipped with basic cannons.
Are they all the same? Looks like they are.
No, one of them is
Oh,
tiny.
little tiny guy. Alright.
Yeah.
I turned myself up for chat members. This is just a quiet song, so I can maybe turn up Discord in the volume mixer if it is a real problem. Split off into two different fights here.
The Discord screen share sometimes does.
It stops?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do much about that. Man, these ships are fast.
What? I didn't hear anything.
These ships are fast.
Oh, those. Wait, which of those?
Those little ones with the shields bouncing all over. Those are missiles?
Oh, those are the disarming missiles. They are supposed to hit explosives with themselves, using the shield to pop them.
That's pretty cool.
So they basically go after missiles and mines.
I don't know
But
if
they
they're
are
gonna be able
very
to.
ineffective against ships.
I don't know if they're gonna be able to kill this guy with this shield.
Luckily, Exterp has... No, this is not Exterp, I forgot.
No.
Yeah, it's actually true. MV only has basic cannons, which are very ineffective against shields. So this might never end for Dale.
And the auto screen just zooms all the way in. So you can't really
Yeah,
see
well,
what's
it
happening.
makes sense. This is where the action is, so...
It's funny though. Um, Dill isn't gonna win anyway because of the score. He can't lose by elimination, but he'll lose by points.
Unless he somehow manages to damage the enemy ships somehow with the disarming missiles, which don't deal very much at all in terms of melee.
Yeah. Not much you could do there.
So the first match went to speed. Now, if the MV fleet focuses on the shield ship, they will be ineffective and will allow Dill's support ships to deal quite a lot of damage.
So they've lost their first ship.
Only the cannon ship remains, I think,
Oh,
and that one is not able to. Yeah, but of the support ships.
Oh.
And the cannon ship only has very slow cannons, which will be quite useless.
Well, now it's 6 versus 1. So you said this might be enough to pop the shield.
If the ships manage to focus onto the, they will manage to do so. But since everyone are moving so much, it's unlikely they will manage to fire enough.
I've always wondered, is it possible to do collision damage under a shield?
I don't think so.
Man,
Sadly.
it zooms in way too much. Dang camera. I'll just have to pan along. Although this might just continue until the end of the round, just like last time. And they'll just bounce back and forth.
Just that speed has a lot more points this time.
Yeah, didn't lose any ships this time. Back and forth. Kind of like that DVD screensaver.
You know, the speed ships actually have over 2000 acceleration, if you wonder why they can move so quickly. Now we have Sergey versus Dale. Sergey is bringing an evolved farmer with a medium shield and some general purpose weaponry, which might be able to deal with Dale's ships. However, that cannon craft we mentioned earlier on Dill's fleet will, yeah, you can see those bullets, right?
Yeah.
In front.
And
Those might deal a little bit of damage.
So what about the farmers is evolved?
It is one of the earlier mods I have made. But it's actually quite balanced. It's not actually changed so much to the farmers. I am going to release a new version of them at some point, but they have a little bit better shields, for instance, but also costlier, and they just have some tweaks and some new blocks, like a turreted shotgun instead of fixed. So they have some new things, one drone ends, but they are actually largely unchanged, sadly.
Turreted shotgun,
Now,
like the scattergun you're talking about.
yeah, just that it's turreted.
Did you change any of the other stats?
Yeah, armor is
No, I
as
mean
usual.
on the scattergun, because I know how powerful that weapon is, but it has a lot of drawbacks since it's fixed weapon.
Discord sometimes cuts.
Dang, man, that is annoying. Not much we can do
Well,
about that, I don't think.
um, the scatter gun does bit more damage, and it kind of loads longer, so each burst does a lot more damage. It actually has 800 DPS now. Did you hear what I said?
You haven't been cutting out at all.
Oh, okay, so it's just you. Well, that's better than everything.
Yeah, it's better than the reverse. Yeah, it looks like unless something changes, Sergio's gonna win on points.
Yeah, Dale's ship is simply unable to kite properly to be able to utilize those cannons to their full potential.
Yeah, he doesn't have proper strafing thrusters.
Yeah. Those
Even
cannons could have easily went through that shield and through the craft, since the evolved farmer hull is as strong as the basic farmer, which is just one durability, so really fragile.
yeah, if you want a good strafing thrusters setup, all you have to do is find the center of mass and put thrusters on either side. Although you still do want some off of the center of mass, but if you can balance it in the front and the back of the ship to be the same amount, the AI will know what to do with your ship instead of just spin in circles.
Yes, it is just that Dale doesn't have a single sideways thruster on the back. And he doesn't have backwards thrust either.
Yeah, if all the shots land, he can break the shield.
This shield actually has 1500 HP and 300 regeneration, so it's quite a buff from the vanilla farmer medium shield.
The killing blow.
So here we have White Walker by Reno. It's supposed to look like the face of a White Walker from Game of Thrones.
That's fun.
So the main ship is a big tank trying to, well, work on durability with just some miniguns and a cannon. While the two other ships are identical missile kiters, sporting the very powerful cruise missiles we have seen before.
Cool.
And this is True Terran. So now it's True Terran versus True Terran. The explosives disarmers are dealing with those missiles very well. The cannon ship has taken enough hits to die. The rib too, and everyone are dead.
True Terran seemed pretty slow, actually.
Yes, it's actually one of the slower factions I had. Not as slow as Obsidian, but still quite slow. It's a slower and more durable version of the normal Terrans.
Did you end up getting any Obsidian submissions?
This time around, actually won that purple and orange one.
Yeah.
So here we have one very interesting submission. MGV. This comes from the Russian community. It's Veterans Challenge faction, which is the very weak one. And as we can see here, he has extra P due to the rules. But the crafts are huge. The big one costs around 1000 P and has 1000 radius. So these crafts are surprisingly durable to be Veterans Challenge, which has very poor durability and trust.
It's probably closer to like 700 just because of how long these struts are. That's fun though. Interesting design.
And the smaller one has around 400 uh, radius and sports some lasers.
Yeah, that's pretty cool design. If the ships get stuck, they just get pummeled.
Yeah, it's very unique. I have actually never seen anything like that in any tournaments.
Yeah, this reminds me of the days of old troll tanks. They're just as big as they possibly could, and they would lob nukes at each other back when nukes were legal.
The minimum acceleration for this tournament, with the exception of Obsidian, is 100 acceleration. So MGV has put in around half of his P, I think, into Trust.
He does have a lot. Although he doesn't have to move too much if the enemy keeps coming to him.
That's true. But yeah, these ships are simply enabled to have a stable range and just fire if they can.
How many points did you say the small ship had? Like 250-ish?
The MGV ship, yes, around 250, I think.
Jeez. Even if they killed the big ship at this point, the Veterans Challenge ship would still be winning on points.
That's true, but the small one is not remotely as durable. So as you see, those cannons simply go through, they simply time out.
Yeah. Although the small ones are mostly struts. Wow. Well, he's killed the little one.
Yeah, at least some honorable points.
Yeah, this is kind of a problem with the current damage taken system. If you don't have the maximum amount of points, you're at a disadvantage point-wise.
Well, I have taken this into account, and some of the submissions here should very easily deal with MGV. It's just that Veterans Challenge is so utterly weak that it's actually fine that they get the point advantage.
Well, I guess it is a alternative route to balancing.
It's the Veterans Challenge is the only faction I have used kind of equalizing of P that you also have used in your campaign.
But yeah, the damage taken, I guess, is only really a problem if you expect everyone to be bringing the same amount of points. Or you give them the same maximum amount of points, that is.
Yes, it's just that, yeah, I have given this MLT, which is this tournament series, will have to have a few exceptions to some factions due to how different they can be. And with Veterans Challenge being specifically made to be very weak, it's kind of a necessity to give additional P.
Saw a bounding area just then. all this debris floating around the big ship occasionally gets all shot out at the bounding. What do you want to call that? The bounding radius of the ship. It's an interesting mechanic in the game most people don't know about.
Oh, that usually doesn't happen for me. What kind of physic update rate do you have?
90. It
Okay.
happens very rarely.
So the win actually goes to MGV. Now, here we have laps. We've also Veterans Challenge.
Interesting.
This is a design with 3 large twin cannons and some lasers and quite some maneuverability. However, when it comes to armor, it's very on the light side, as you may see. And the first round goes to Dale.
Yeah, that's a lot of thrusters for not a lot of mobility.
Yeah, basically everything about Veterans Challenge is weak. Oh, the core is completely exposed. And there it goes. Now we have Dill versus Execution Squad by Xterp. Xterp is the one who won with his Swarm the first tournament, and now he has come with a larger one.
Looks like he has two of pretty much the same ship, one big, one small. Oh, and he
Yes.
has a different gun on one of these.
Yeah, he has the two largest ships sport a medium minigun each, while the small cannon-shaped ships sport cannons, while the Cannon 2 ships are railguns.
Interesting. Alright.
We will probably see Xturf execute Dill here. And due to Xturf having those railguns, he can actually deal with the shield of the main Dill ship. As you see, the shield has failed.
The ship is still somehow alive. Oh no, it's dead. Never mind.
So currently, Xturp has a very strong lead, with only one ship being left for Dill. The last ship is trying its best, but it simply can't do anything with a whole swarm like this.
Just a core.
Oh, and there a railgun shot was fired and it died. Each railgun shot does actually deal 500 damage. Duke, are you watching this chat?
Yes.
So I will just respond. Yes, it's true. The armor of spinal mounts is quite durable. However, it does cost. There are actually no free versions of the spinal mount armor, so you are always paying P for the armor. Also, the core of the spinal mounts, which Xterp is very durable.
You mean Dill?
Well, both these factions actually have durable cores. Dill's core
Oh, they
has
have
around
separate
500.
cores.
Xderp is spinal mounts, while Dill is True Terrans faction.
Oh, gotcha. I guess I just assumed Dill was spinal mounts because all this last ship is using is spinal mounts.
But yes, Dill's core does have a bit over 500 HP actually. True Terran are the faction with the most durable cores for the size, while Xderp has around 200-250. Now we have the Obsidian versus Dill.
Huh.
So here we have one large magma chamber, which is the R generator of Obsidian, and a factory. And at the front we can see a large energy beam, which is a very powerful laser.
Cool.
The strategy of this craft is most likely to replicate faster than the enemy can kill it, due to how durable obsidians can be. And not yet Xterp. We have switched around the placement in the tournament.
Unless he breaks. No?
Yeah, Xterp was just asking.
Those are interesting looking thrusters.
As you can see on the factory, a core is being built. And yes, those thrusters are made to fit with the hexagonal palette. However, they have been used kind of incorrectly here. Oh, the R generator has been broken. That might cause issues. There you can see the laser kind of damaging the ship. And there it died. It's a very powerful laser. This core can't actually supply the energy needed to fire it properly. Oh, unintentional spinner. This is due to corruption.
The wall.
Oh, the laser.
Other ships become functional.
But none of them have an R generator yet. And it died. Yes, obsidians don't actually have generators. But they have many shapes and sizes of commands, so you have to use those for energy production. The minigun is simply not enough to defeat these obsidians. even though its peak damage per second is over 2000, I believe. Oh, it's stuck.
Oh, it's really stuck.
Oh, yeah, I always use 120 damage updates. Oh, I think that was melee. The energy beam does actually have weak melee. And I think that ship was killed by it.
Now there's two.
Now it's 3.
Can the uh, factory-made ships produce more ships?
Yes, all factories can make new ships. So this will be a replicating swarm.
Awesome.
But it's hard to utilize factories properly in tournaments.
It's also hard to aim your main weapon.
Especially when your thrusters have a ramp-up time of over 10 seconds.
I see that. You can actually see one is bigger than the other.
Well, the thruster placement here is also very bad. So you can kind of see one of the thrusters are trying to go backwards while the other one is pushing, and it just doesn't work. So, the win goes to none for Duke. Now we have Sergey versus Speed. Now, due to MEV lacking railguns or miniguns completely, the shield might be able to hold itself against this fleet, at least temporarily. Do you have anything to comment, Dukeslayer?
No, not really. The longer it goes on, the fewer ships Speed has, the less chance he has of winning.
So, Speed now has too few ships to be able to get through the shield in any way.
Yeah, AVM in the chat. The max acceleration that the sandbox shows is quite literally the maximum possible acceleration the ship can achieve. So that doesn't account for how slow it is before the thrusters charge up.
Oh, okay, that's what he asked about. Yes, the obsidian thrusters have slow responses, so even the thrusters do have a long delay before they get to max power. That's why obsidians are very bad for agile ships. Unless you use the Penrose thrusters, which are the ones with the lowest delay.
I was about to ask, are they all having that bad delay?
No, it varies from thruster type and with scale. The smallest scales have around 2 seconds of delay, while the largest ones can have, for instance, 14 seconds of delay, starting from 0 thrust.
Are the thrusters modular? Like you can stack them?
You can stack the square pallet thrusters and the hexagon pallet thrusters, but you cannot stack the Penrose thrusters since they are just, well, Penroses, so you just make a grid of them.
Alright. I was gonna ask if you could thruster cap the larger thrusters, so they would have better startup time.
Yes, that's fully possible for all thrusters except for the Penrose ones.
Gotcha.
So, surprisingly, the Obsidian in this tournament has not chosen to use capped thrusters.
I'm assuming I did play a little bit of Typor, and their thrusters are not really
Weird.
capable. Yeah. So I'm assuming
Yeah,
that's kind of how you did the Penrose thrusters for Obsidian.
yes, just that I didn't use a custom ship for that.
Yes. Alright, that makes sense.
So the wins goes to Sergey. Now we have Reno versus MV, Spinal Mount versus True Terran. Now the crew useful to deal with the small swarm ships due to the extreme maneuvering ability of the cruise missiles. The tank is taking some damage, and the cruise missiles come to help out. The cruise missiles are the no drawback option of missiles for true Terrans. The first round went to Reno, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the screen for me sometimes freezes up.
So, kind of sad actually. Because you would think that speed is fast enough to dodge the velocity on this biggest ship's weapons. But since they have to turn so much to aim instead of strafing, sometimes they get too close to the ship and they get hit by the biggest weapon and maimed quite a bit.
Yes, it's actually quite surprising that there it happened again. It also happened in the first tournament. Somehow ships, tiny probes managed to get hit by the main cannon, which is one of the slowest weapons I have ever made, and it doesn't have proximity.
This round's different though, since some of the missile ships survived. Or one of them did.
So now we have MGV versus Speed. The Swarm is going for the small ship first. Sadly, it's the one ship with sensors, so the main ship likely won't be able to deal with the Swarm. Now the small ship is gone. So now the Swarm is trying to work its way through the Veritake armor, but it's proving difficult due to the sheer size of MGV's capital ship.
That little ship was on the brink of death for about
Yeah, I
10
saw it.
seconds. Yeah, the only way Speed dies is if he gets stuck inside the hull. Or, in that ship's case, stuck on the other ship's hull.
But the speed ships do actually have backwards thrust, something Dill did not have, so they can just back off instead of running into the hull of the big ship. And again, MGV is holding up very well compared to how fragile Veterans Challenge actually is. A 1x1 block from them only has 35 HP. Oh, one of the ships are stuck on the border.
Yeah.
And it's gone.
the wall. Although well, you will be able to turn around. Sometimes if you only have forward acceleration, your ship won't be able to turn around once it hits the border.
Well, luckily the border is not solid anymore. Now it's this kind of gravity border, which doesn't affect turning.
I guess it also depends on the shape of your ship.
That's true, this is just a simple square. Well, simple. Uh,
Complex square. Square with extra steps. And again, the small ship to the slaughter.
it's being torn apart. It simply doesn't have the armor to deal with anything really.
Not sure what it would help with. It could maybe 1v1 one of these smaller speed ships.
Uh, Unlikely. Uh, the lasers don't actually do a lot of damage. Also, I do have to make a correction on myself. I do believe the small ship from HV does have around 175p, not 250. Oh, I was wrong. The tiny ship from Speed is actually a minigun. You can see it firing over there, doing its best. The core is now partly exposed. Now even more exposed. Just a few more shots in the and it might pop.
Trapped ship. Died.
Yes, the weapons from Veterans Challenge are actually half decent, especially those main guns, if you can zoom in on those,
Big ones.
the long-range cannons. They do actually deal a lot of damage per shot, but they shoot very rarely and use more energy than they do damage.
Although, I don't think speed can do anything to win unless they kill the main ship.
Well, it was. The enemy was almost below 500p. Now it's laps versus speed, and I believe this won't last long. Sadly, the armor is very far from sufficient.
I'm gonna go get a drink of water. I'll be right back.
Now we have speed versus execution squad. These are their fleet, with execution squad having more ships, but each of them being smaller and only having one weapon. Currently, execution squad is leading by quite a bit, only having lost one ship, while speed has. And the first round goes to Exterp. So it's now even with Speed laying a bit behind on points.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Now
So
we have
it's
round
currently
3.
even between. Yes, it's even between both of them. And both are actually very similar submissions from the same faction.
Looks like Exterp's gonna take this one.
This small ship, this small minigun ship is trying to deal with a large minigun ship. So that's interesting. But now the whole swarm is coming. Somehow the smallest ship often survives to the end. And the win goes to Exter. Now we have Speed versus the Stone Plague. We'll have to see how this goes. One ship is already down, with one Stone Plague coming online soon. Oh, I think that was a combo of multiple ships at the time.
Should have called it the Smoky Plague.
Oh, it has lost one of its thruster sections. That might be an issue, but due to how
Maybe.
But due to how durable obsidians are, it can easily regenerate while being under fire. So it's not an issue. And another stone plague has been made.
How did he get over here? Oh, it's just driving over here? Alright.
It's trying to turn. Non-Forduce doesn't have a good turning thrust. Last ship, it was almost annihilated there. It seems like no one expected to see ups in this tournament, since there were none of them last. So because of that, no one brought heavy enough or long-range enough guns to deal with it. One goal.
Just had a melee kill, it looked like there.
The mothership Obsidian is having difficulties trying to regrow. It will need assistance from the extra Obsidian. Oh, I can see corruption on the new Obsidian.
Yay, extra
Sad.
masters.
Sadly, Obsidian corrupts quite frequently nowadays.
Huh, that's interesting.
It happened with the True Terran too. Do you remember the unintentional spinner?
Yeah. Maybe something to do with your ports?
It shouldn't be, since, for instance, the True Terran is only using vanilla ports, blocks. How is the mothership doing? Oh, it has been almost cored out. It is now taking direct damage to the core. This might be bad.
Yes,
But luckily
the only
Obsidian
ship
cores
worth
are very
points.
durable.
If anything,
Due
it's
to their
just gonna lose
size.
on points.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah. And yes, only the original ships are the ones that matter in terms of points and having alive ships.
For what it matters, the factory created ships also have a slightly nerfed AI. They're not as smart as the motherships are. For lack
Yeah,
of a
that is
better
also
term.
true. But they do try to follow the mothership, so it can be fine.
Yeah, usually the factory-made ships work best if they're simply brawlers or rushers. They don't function as kiters very well, though, from experience.
Yes, they do lack the attack flag. They only have vanilla flags from campaign. The main ship is taking quite a lot of damage. I'm stuttering for some reason. The child ship is having problems. So is the main ship. It has completely lost its energy beam. And I believe the child ship
Yeah.
died.
And it all really depends on if speed drives in front of that laser too many times. Because because the plague sure isn't aiming very well, so that's what it takes.
Now we have Sergey, an evolved farmer versus True Terran. The shield can deal with those missiles, but the tank can take out that shield. And once that happens, if you look at that explosion radius, it will be the end of Sergey. Oh, it's the almost at least. Sergey might be able to recover. I didn't see that. Discord froze again. So those miniguns on the tank are
Wow,
what
that was quick.
allow for that to happen. Now we have Sergey versus the huge Veterans Challenge ships. The
Shield might be
main
too
large
strong.
caliber cannons can cause issues for that shield.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they have already taken it down. Those are very powerful cannons, even though they are very inefficient and,
Slow.
well, bad in multiple ways. They are very brutal though. Oh, they are also very inaccurate. What you are seeing here is actually mostly just their giant inaccuracy. Oh, the shield has failed again.
Looks like the Veterans Challenge also has the range advantage.
Yes, the large caliber long range cannons are actually quite decent when it comes to range. I believe they have over 2000.
Yeah, Sergio just simply can't win. He gets close enough, and if he gets too close, he dies.
As the well, if he manages to fly the MGV and take out most of the generators through his ship, he might be able to remove enough damage per second to have his shield not fail, due to how energy inefficient the Veterans Challenge weapons are.
Oh, I didn't realize. Right. He's got generators in different parts of the ship. Just
Yeah, he has
just
them
the core.
completely spread out. Oh, the shield is gone. It's completely gone. Well, it could still be picked up. Yes, luckily for Sergey, the shield generator was not broken.
Looks like he's trying to make a last stand.
Oh,
Oh!
the core.
Pulled it off
Oh,
with like less than 15 seconds left.
that's a good job. Now the
Very
small one is
lucky
evaporated instantly.
very lucky in a few different ways there.
But yeah, as you see, well, farmers have always done actually a lot of damage. So it's not actually very surprising that Sergey can do a lot of damage when he is first inside of the range.
Yeah, I think if his shield is full,
Look, the core is already cored out.
yeah, if his shield is full and he executes, he actually has enough
Yeah,
damage to kill the ship before it dies. Although this time he's lost a lot of his thrusters.
he doesn't have thrusters anymore. But just the recoil from the large caliber cannons is pushing him away. But they still almost have the range. Oh, MGV is following and rebuilding. Oh, by the way, both of these submissions are from the Russian Discord. So both here are not from the main reassembly. So
yeah, you can see MGW. Sometimes they won't get close enough to finish the kill. It's a problem with large ships without enough maneuverability. The AI doesn't understand it's out of range, so it doesn't turn on its thrusters to get close enough.
Well, he does have his large caliber cannons, which do have the range.
Well, effective range.
Yeah, they are inaccurate enough so that they can actually miss Surgery completely at maximum range.
So in the case, if we had like, for instance, two large slow ships, it gets to the point where sometimes they push each other out of each other's effective range, but they still don't come towards each other. So it's just a stalemate until the time runs out.
Yeah, I have seen that before. It's kind of annoying. Oh, Surgery was taken out.
Round 3.
This time he's going for the main ship from the start, allowing the secondary ship to kind of live for a bit. Sadly, it doesn't have any turning capability, so it can't really do much.
That's kind of funny.
Oh, sadly, Sergei is attacking from the corner, which is actually the most durable part, but he did manage to take out a large caliber cannon, which might actually reduce the DPS enough for the shield to...
Yeah. Looks like Sergio's gonna take this.
Yeah, so maybe attacking the core was a good idea.
Yeah, he got rid of one of those big cannons.
Now we have Sergei versus Labs. These are kind of similar ships, with Veterans Challenge having a lot more damage due to the P advantage and large cannons. But his armor is not good. So Labs will have to keep range if he wants to win, or else he just dies. Now we have Sergei versus Exterp. Exterp does have the railguns and miniguns, which will easily take down the shield, and the cannons will take out the armor easily. So this should be a quick execution. Oh, the shield generator has been broken due to the remote shield generator damage bug. Sergei does not have the defense or the damage to take out the execution squad quickly. Now we have Sergei versus the Stone Plague, and not seen before. This might end very quickly. The Stone Plague is taking some damage. He might soon lose his front. And he did. Luckily the energy beam is quite durable, so it can... Oh, but it's melee. The energy beam crashed into his core and
Killed himself with his own
collapsed the
weapon.
whole ship. Yeah, he tried to drive forwards and the spike cut through his core. A double-edged sword to have in a place like that. Yeah, actually, Non-Forduce, his ship is actually shaped like a funnel at the front. If the large triangle breaks, the energy beam is funneled to the core, killing it very quickly. Maybe not an optimal design choice, but
Looks like
oh, it might happen again.
Yeah. Maybe not. It's executing right now. Or worse. Child ship's almost done.
Oh, the other ship might be able. Oh, both ships have online weapons now. This might be an issue for. Each laser fired does a lot of damage. And there it went. Oh, that was a very good aim by the stone tag, disintegrating the ship completely, giving quite some time.
Yeah, so just got 8 points.
Oh, yeah, the laser is devastating, especially when your shield has failed. Now we have Reno versus MGV. Those cruise missiles will cause issues for Veterans Challenge. As you may see, it's kind of tearing through the armor. The tank is trying to. It is small but durable.
Missiles are getting closer.
That is very bad for MGV.
Lost one of the big cannons too.
Now the tank. Oh, the miniguns are getting close.
No more turning thrusters. It'll get recoiled away.
The core is now quite exposed for MGV, but luckily the missiles are now attacking another section of the ship.
They keep rotating clockwise around the tournament. Or the arena, I mean.
Hey, the support ship is useful. It tanked 2 missiles. Oh, that's really bad. That might be. Yeah. Now the tank is rushing onto the enemy, and another missile, and it will. Yeah. And as you can see there, True Terran are very heavy. The large remaining husk of the support ship was just thrown around when the tank touched it. As we can see here, even though the Veterans Challenge, it doesn't always help. That's a quick kill. Now, Laps kind of... oh, he survived for a second. And another... Can it... Oh, it's actually alive, but it's probably dead now. The Discord is lagging again. Now we have Execution Squad versus White Walker. The missile ships from White Walker may be able to deal with the probes due to how extremely accurate the missiles are. And the tank is tanking just fine. Missiles are now quickly and efficiently dealing with the swarm. With some difficulty. Well, AVM, you could use the Veterans Challenge lasers to try to use them as PD against missiles. That could potentially work. White Walker has lost at one of the missile ships. And if the other one dies, it will most likely be the end for Reno.
You can see the White Walker.
Execution Squad is now losing ships rapidly.
Yeah, the tank he has kind of looks like a little face.
And the win goes to White Walker. Now, the missiles may be an issue due to not having fitted any shields or PD. But the tank from the White Walker can possibly be dealt with. As you can see, the laser can do a lot. But it might soon be disattached, which it was. Oh no, it wasn't. Somehow.
Deciding not to shoot. Does it have a long reload or something?
Oh, well, it does have wait, do you mean the miniguns or do you mean the laser? This is the largest scale of the laser. So it has very slow pulses, but also this core doesn't supply enough energy. So the laser cuts out before it should.
Well, this is
Extra thing, he already has his fleet ready. Most likely just a major execution squad or something.
yeah. Extra likes his swarms.
I wonder what he will bring for the 20,000 P and the tournaments. A swarm of 1,000 ships.
Looks like the plague's going to win on points, unless something drastic happens.
Oh, the extra ships will. Oh yeah, it won. But yes, as mentioned, the Stone Plague ship sadly has a too small core to supply remotely enough energy to fire a whole pulse. And the Stone Plague could also have used its laser as melee, but it doesn't try. One thruster section has been cut off, while the White Walker almost died. The energy beam is taking quite a lot of damage, and it's now disattached. The kind of deceiving feature of the Stone Plague is that it might seem right now like it's holding up well, not having lost many blocks, but there is only one block between the side, so if one block explodes, it's already exposed. But yeah, the Stone Plagues are really having issues right now. Smoking a lot, and some corruption. Yes, it's only then when it happens. Yeah, they are stable where everything is stable when nothing is happening. But oh, the core is exposed on the mothership, and yeah. If the Stone Plague would have brought one of the obsidian shields, it would have countered the missiles completely. Oh, that angle of the laser could be a kill on the. Oh no, it's even smoking. Look at that. The core is smoking. There is probably only 50 HP left. Oh, yeah.
Still losing on points, surprisingly.
I guess the structure of the White Walker didn't take account for high-powered lasers, which can cut through one block gaps.
I wonder
But why?
why the missile ships are so close.
There is no weapon built yet on that one Obsidian, and they
Oh,
are focusing it. Oh, that could be no. They are too durable for a fast flyby to kill them. Oh, that was a lot of points extra, and one of them was killed.
not durable enough. So now Plague's gonna win on points. Or a kill, I guess. It could win on a kill too.
Well, what do you prefer?
I prefer execution.
That is something the execution squad is quite good at. But yeah, these are the first obsidians we have seen, and they are performing very well. Now we have Veterans Challenge versus Veterans Challenge, and I think this is quite futile. The difference in the armor, I don't think that is good. And those huge generators exposed already at the back. That can't be good.
Killed the small ship.
Well, it is kiting now, and the gun Slaps is using are the most expensive ones in the faction. So it might go well. Well, look at no, well, that doesn't seem
Inaccuracy.
good.
Saved by inaccuracy.
Oh, but their inaccuracy helped out.
Yeah, the inaccuracy actually might help the
Sometimes.
AI lead some of its shots.
But surprisingly enough, Laps has been able to do a lot of damage, at least in the previous match. He has technically cored the large ship, but has now switched focus. The small ship now is dead. Oh,
Laps is no
Laps
longer
has
dodging.
taken... yeah, he has lost his side thrusters. But he managed to core out the large one. That's a good job for the size difference. Especially with how slow and weak and fragile Veterans Challenge is. It's holding up well. Oh, that was for us again, so I don't see what is happening. Oh, now I see. Oh, that's yeah, that's an exposed core. Luckily, the husk is helping out for a second, and he lost.
The Borg wins.
Well, it
The
was
Borg
a
in
good try.
disguise.
Now we have the Execution Squad versus MGV. Due to how spread out damage the Execution Squad deals, this might be it might be hard for the squad to get through all that armor. Even though it's the weakest armor in all of the factions, but still. As you can see, the recoil from the railguns is shooting those probes far backwards. It's kind of funny to look at. Okay, the main ship has been cored out. Almost. None of the ships have died yet, and Execution Squad has actually lost multiple ships. Most likely due to the lasers on the small ship, unless you have seen the big one kill anyone.
Oh. I just noticed something.
Surprisingly, the small ship still lives. But possibly not for long. So this round is going quite differently. The small ship has quickly been taken out. So currently Exterp has not lost a single ship, but he has lost a lot of points. So some of those cores are severely damaged. It seems like the win can go to MGV if he does not lose a lot more.
I'm actually kind of surprised that big ship from MGV isn't more corrupted with some of its connections. Like these long strut connections that end in triangles are usually pretty bad for corruption.
Oh yeah, well, there are no very offset. Oh, that laser though. Yeah, there are no very offset ports, but yeah, that laser, as you can see, it doesn't have any difficulties here. But the core is exposed. That is an issue. Oh, it's almost.
No, too late.
No. And it's dead. So yeah, if non-produce can line up that laser properly, it will be an instant kill. It's very powerful, as you saw. Skimming the side. The issue with having just one huge laser and kind of not have the right maneuverability and other things makes it so that it's hard to aim. Having many smaller lasers could have been better.
Lost the factor or the solar.
Well, yeah.
Child ship died too.
Now, I believe the ship has been cored. At least almost.
Yep, won't be long now.
Yeah, the laser just cuts through
Oh,
very easily, like better.
it has a chance.
Oh, that angle is very good.
Oh, and the weapon
Just
came off.
no. I think that was the instant it was going to give up pulse and just cut straight through the whole thing.
It had enough R left to make another ship though. And the main ship's reverted its attention.
Oh yeah, that's good. Now it has the moment.
It can reuse this weapon.
Well, it's too stupid, so it didn't touch it.
Oh!
Oh, it did. Hey! It can do this.
Got 20 seconds.
It just needs to
figure
try
out how to aim.
Yeah, and also it must try to take all the damage with the energy beam. They are really durable. Just use it as the armor.
It's too late now.
This is no, that's really, oh no, sad. Good fight for NGV though, but that laser, it just cuts through. Oh, Execution Squad versus Labs. This shouldn't last very long.
This shouldn't lapse very long.
Yeah.
Poor lapse.
Yeah, the obsidian regrow rate is actually quite good, but it's mostly on the smallest of the armor. And because the blocks are so large, so the kind of surface area of each block is what decides how long a block regrows. So the more volume a block has compared to surface area makes it kind of regrow more HP per second. Now we have Lapse versus the Stone Plague. The Stone Plague has already lost a block, and Laser kind of Lapse run. Oh, yeah, he has time to regrow.
Oh, he's regrowing the generators instead of using the...
That's
Rebuild.
not really smart. No, it's going to die. Oh, Lapse actually lacks energy a lot. Look, only one of the cannons are firing. I haven't noticed that. Yeah, it seems like Lapse could have had 3 times as many generators. He probably underestimated how much energy these cannons.
My goodness. The plague's just playing with its food.
Oh, wait, how did it survive there?
It's just watching the obsidian and waiting to see if it actually is going to kill it this time. Oh! Child ship killed.
No, now Lapse is here again. Yeah, I think Lapse underestimated how much energy these cannons use and overestimated how much energy those generators make, since only one of the main cannons are firing. It could have damaged 3 times as much. Now he is at least firing again. He might be able to take out that try. Oh, laser.
How is the laser still
Hey, he
connected?
didn't.
For a second there.
Oh, it probably tried. The obsidian probably managed to regrow the broken triangle for a half second.
You couldn't even see it.
Yeah. Now, Execution Squad versus the Stone Plague. Due to how many ships the Execution Squad has, the laser will probably be ineffective. Or not. Well, your main square actually has maybe 50% or so, maybe even less of the energy it needs for all the weapons to fire properly. The laser is still attached, again with invisible blocks.
Oh, there it goes.
No. Oh, now the obsidian is faster. I mean, it's not really fast, but what was that one?
I don't know. That little ship.
Oh,
Decided
execution
to
behavior. All of
execute.
these are trying to ram themselves into these asteroids.
He killed himself.
Well, but the secondary guns can't add any firepower. If you mean 50% is just the main gun. Who won? I didn't get to see that.
Exter. 1 on points.
Oh. Extarp, this is just the start of the MLT opening tournaments. The opening tournaments ramp up the P cost. I want to use in the final MLT tournaments. And the MLT tournaments will run at 20,000 P. AVM, yeah, that's true. The tiny guns are very energy efficient, actually. I'm surprised I didn't see any veterans challenge using in the 150p budget. But yeah, Exterp, as I'm saying, the opening tournaments are just slowly ramping up the P budget, and then I will change name to just MLT. No opening. Opening is just kind of the introduction to the MLT series. Changing rules. To try out the factions before you have to deal with 20,000 P. So that everyone can learn and balance can be achieved beforehand. Seems like this Stone Plague will lose again. Just barely. Fusion Squad only having 3 ships left. No, 20,000 P. It will be 20,000 P in the end. 20, 20. Oh, that was it? Hello?
Sorry. That's it.
So,
Congratulations to the winner of the second.
but who was the winner? Discord froze for me and you were not paying attention, I think?
I was muted. I think it was White Walker. I'll grab
White
the
Walker?
I'll grab the parser and post it in the Discord. Is there anything else you wanted to do before we close out the
Yeah. Do anyone have any requests or anything to add before we end this stream? The main tournament is done.
Well, and I think we'll call it there. Thank you all for
Yeah, it
showing
doesn't
up,
seem.
and I'll post the log so you can look at all of the individual battle statistics in the Discord.
Yes, and thanks a lot for helping me with this since I have technical issues and host.
Yeah, for anyone wondering, I'm in America streaming this game to Alex, a very long distance away because he's having technical issues. So, but we got it done. I think it worked out well. So yeah.
Uh, yeah, well, one last question someone has.
Oh, what was that?
Did you end the stream?
No, I didn't. What
No,
size
okay.
is next week?
Yes. Next week. At the end of this month. So, well, it will. Yeah, I will see when it will be, but at least a Sunday or a Saturday. Uh, I will post the rules today, and it will last to about the end of the month. And the price P budget is 1,500. So 3 times as much as we have now.
So yeah,
Is
thank you
that
all for
enough?
coming,
Yeah.
and we'll see you in the next tournament.